one of the biggest heavy metal bands in the world, Iron Maiden. I'm the singer, I'm the front man, I'm the guy that basically presents everything. What's a rock star? You know, I mean, what is that? You know, I mean, it's actually nothing. It's just an invention of the media and the socials and whatever picture you took, and if you're popular, it's actually nothing. If you said I'm a storyteller, that's something. I don't go around with bodyguards. I don't drive around in limousines. I take the metro, or I walk, or I don't own a car, so I have a bicycle. And I take the metro, you know, I mean, in London and in here, you know, I mean, all the time. I'm 65 years old, which is incredible, really. I never thought I would get here. I like to play. I mean, I like to play with music. So, yeah, I had another completely different career outside of music, because I was for 17 years a commercial airline pilot. When I was training to be a pilot, I wasn't in Iron Maiden. I was thinking, wow, you know, what happens if, because I'd quit the band, and I was thinking, wow, what happens if all of this whole thing, you know, stops and people say, oh, you suck, you know, we're not interested in you anymore. I thought, well, I might need to do another job. Well, as it happened, I rejoined Iron Maiden, and my then wife was like, how are you going to do this job? Because you're in Iron Maiden. I said, I'll worry about that on Monday morning. And I had we were taking 6 months off. So I said, you know what, I won't tell them. I'll just take the job and get myself in the seat, and then we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll be able to negotiate. Actually, not with Iron Maiden, with the airline, because there might be some benefits for them having a rock star as a pilot.
You played fences when you were young?
Yeah, escrime, yeah. No, I still train now.
You're still doing some?
Yeah, absolutely. I train 3 or 4 days a week.
Really?
Yeah. Well, when I can, you know.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the Olympic Games?
Not anymore. No, I was on the Olympic squad in 1988 in the UK. I was doing Maiden, so I had to train in and out. So there was always going to be a limitation. But now I'm a veteran. So we have World Championships, you have European Championships and everything. So
and you're participating?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was just in a competition just after Christmas in the UK.
I have to talk to you about Eddie. Who is Eddie?
In the case of Maiden, it's what has defined us. You know, I mean, because you know, you think of Iron Maiden, you think of Eddie. You know, and although I'm the singer, you know, you don't automatically think of me. You think of Eddie, which is fine, because it goes back to the earlier question of you know, being the rock star. We have Eddie, so we don't have to be the rock star. You know, we don't have to go and take some overdose and be found, you know, lying outside some Paris nightclub and go into rehab and have all these things and go and have 6 porn star girlfriends and all that shit, which is just nothing to do with music. We've got Eddie, and Eddie is more radical and cool than any of them, you know. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with throat cancer. I had tongue cancer. I had a big lump, like a golf ball. Everywhere I was looking, I was like, oh God, it's like, you know, that might be the last tree that I see, everywhere there's hospitals. I mean, when did that hospital get there? You know, it's always been there. It's just, I'd never noticed it before I had cancer. Oh, there's another graveyard. There's another church. Oh, you know, I had nothing to do. I was just going to be watching daytime TV, you know, which has daytime TV, of course, in England has all the publicity, all the adverts are all for dead people. So it's it's daytime. Who's watching daytime TV? People in the iPad, you know. So, that's life insurance. Yeah. No. When you have your funeral, you know, this is super cheap. I'm like, oh, Jesus, you know, And then after 3 months after the treatment, they took a big picture of the inside of me and went, it's gone. I went, wow, okay. So now I can start chapter 2.
One question about Sarajevo in 1994.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Well, why? Probably it was the most life-changing concert I've ever done. And I've done some pretty big shows. But that one was truly special. I got a phone call, and this guy from the military in Sarajevo, who also had a rock show on the local radio station, said, we asked Motorhead and they said no, it was too dangerous. I went, fuck it, I'm going to come. So we were supposed to get flown in by helicopter. That never arrived. We were supposed to have UN protection. They refused. So we drove in anyway. We drove in a soft-top truck through a battlefield, over the top of the only road in, over the top of a 3,000-meter mountain in winter, sleeping in the back of a truck with sleeping bags. And we did a gig for 1,200 people, 500, I can't remember how many, but about 1,000 people. Local people, they weren't like, who all risked their lives to actually get to the gig. And the documentary that got made was done like 20 years later. And I was sitting in my local pub at home in London having a beer, and somebody came up to me with a laptop and said, oh, you're Bruce. I went, oh no, I'm having a beer. Yeah, okay, what is it? You know, because I'm thinking, oh, here's my 50 Iron Maiden albums to sell. I'm like, God, you know. And she said, no, I want to show you this stuff. And it was the raw footage of kids being interviewed 20 years later about how that concert changed their life. And I was in tears. I was just like, what is this? This is amazing, but what is this? She goes, oh, it's a documentary that somebody is making, and we wondered if you would be interested in supporting it. I was like, well, yeah, of course, you know. And the great thing about that documentary is it's not my documentary.
Yeah.
It belongs to the people of Sarajevo.